We'd like to welcome you to another edition of GrokTALK, brought to you by GraniteGrok.com, New Hampshire's conservative website. We are your feared, extremist, right-wing, hard-charging, gun-toting, opinionated, outspoken, rabble-rousing, letter-writing, radio microphone-stomping conservatives and rational libertarians. So get ready for 2 hours of news and opinion you could only get from GraniteGrok.com. GrokTALk.
All right, so why did I do that twice?
Thanks for turning on my mic.
You turned it off.
Well, anyways,
welcome to GrokTALK. I wasn't recording the live stream. I wasn't recording for the podcast. That's why I started over. Now we're 48 seconds behind, but that's okay. Some of you got to listen to our theme twice. Hey, welcome to GrokTALK, broadcasting live from the CNHT studios in Concord, New Hampshire. Ed Nail was on a few minutes before. If you were watching the live stream, you'd be able to watch that on video later. We have a good show for you today. Richard Olson from the Londonderry Fishing Game Club will be coming in to talk to us about the demise of the background check bill in the New Hampshire House.
And fellow Grokster, don't forget that.
By
the way, I do need to push out, we do hope that fellow Grokster Susan, who also helped in that effort to defeat HB 1589, she's feeling a little under the weather. We send her a shout-out. Hope that she feels better much sooner. That's all.
I'm just wondering why my laptop went blank.
Anyways, but so we've got Rick coming in. I mean, it was a massive effort here in New Hampshire. That basically we've got people. He's looking very befuddled. Folks.
I am anyway. Keep going.
So he, big massive turnouts, both pro and con, against enhanced background checks. And the way that the bill was written, certainly originally, it's like I couldn't even lend you my gun if we were at somebody's wide, expansive field to go shooting just for the heck of it, because our laws allow us to do that. We would both be set up with felony B, arrests and convictions automatically. I couldn't sell you my gun unless we went to a friendly FFL, a gun dealer, run the checks. It's like every turn, nook and cranny that's possible, the progressives are trying to make us guilty first off instead of innocent. Now, they do that over in Europe. Everything is impossible to do or inviolate to do, not inviolate, but in violation to do unless expressly allowed by laws. Here in the United States, we turn that upside down because supposedly we are free citizens so that we can do whatever we want unless expressly told not to. And we see this continuing breaking down of our civil space by progressives saying, well, you can't do that. No, you shouldn't do that. It's a bizarre and terrifying confluence of we must eliminate risk from all parts of our lives so nobody can ever get killed or hurt. And the precautionary principle, which is a waste of time, which means we shouldn't do anything unless we spend 100 years testing it to make sure that it's absolutely safe.
Why does he keep doing that?
He is not having a good day, folks. So I'll just keep on vamping.
He's going to keep talking. Anyway, real quick, Dr. Betsy McCoy will be with us a little later. Dr. Julian Cooper's coming in as well. And then, of course, Richard Olson is going to be with us to talk about guns and stuff, which is what we were talking about. And Mike's here.
Yes.
Oh, now, see, I turned your mic on, and then you started doing mic things with it.
Mike's playing with his mic.
He is.
So, but anyways, you've got an awesome commercial.
I do. I have to get my thing to boot back up, and we'll play it. And Rick's here too, so we can start in with that.
Hey, Mr. Rick.
So, yeah, we posted it yesterday. We're starting Windows. See, I have this weird thing going on with my power that's driving me crazy. Anyway, it's been a good week overall.
You okay?
Legislatively.
You're making very strange faces.
Oh, well, you're in Concord. Of course you saw some funny-looking people down on the street.
It's almost like the dirty hippies.
Well, put on a headset, have a seat, and join us up. Uh-oh. What's he going to show us?
Oh,
laptop.
Well, probably working better than mine.
We were thinking that he was going to outdo his .50 caliber and go with a .60 or something.
So we do have something else.
This is Mr. Olson, president of Gun Club, and Cannons are us.
and he puts on a hell of a fireworks show too.
Oh yeah.
So all right, let's see if this is actually going to work. craziness that we have here. Hey,
Yeah.
how you doing?
I'm doing great.
This is the nice unorganized opening of our show this week.
Ah,
We had some technical difficulties. I started the show, forgot to record part of it. It's great. So we're just gonna run with it. It's been we were talking about HB 1589 a little earlier, and so that was kind of part of the reason why we brought you in, because you and Susan, lots of other people, spent a lot of time going to hearings that didn't appear to make any difference. Organizing campaigns to talk to legislators about the bill and what it would actually do versus what people said it would do, and we. And I'll just finish with this real quick and then let you go. I know we were talking about the left being all uppity because their bill failed. And some of the chatter from the left, if we can call it that, where they were talking about how the gun people were harassing the legislators. Now, I was reading, that was Susan the Bruce, I think. I was reading that and I'm thinking to myself, now when you guys harass legislators, it's not harassment. You're actually educating them about your issue.
I think the word is advocating.
Advocating. There you go.
Well,
Right?
let's be blunt with liberals, folks. It's buying legislatures.
Well, anyway, so when we do it, when we say, well, this is what's really going to happen, we're harassing legislators. So we harassed legislators, and it worked. Let's just
Let's call it what it is and
call it
celebrate
what it is. That's right.
And that's the thing. And I want to get your opinion of this. A lot of liberals think we're only advocating about guns. We see the underlying issue as this is the freedom and how is government interacting with the citizenry. And we talked about that just a few minutes ago of why is it that they wish to pronounce us guilty before our innocence?
Yeah, those presumptions were.
Those are European presumptions.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually physically in the bill. I mean, I saw an email, totally amazed me. Of course, I can't get to it. I don't have access, but
Wait, we can get you access. There's a cord right here someplace.
No, I meant for to open it, but yeah, I don't have any internet access.
Well, that's what I meant. There's internet cables winding around here. We have wireless.
We can hook you up.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, while we wait to do that.
I saw this this email on Facebook that who had posted it? Either I think it was Susan.
This the Zandra Rice Hawkins email?
Oh no,
No, it's a different one. Okay.
No, I got sent that and I posted it.
Yes, that was awesome. I even thanked her for helping us defeat the bill.
Yep.
Never have I seen so long-winded and
20
trite.
2,200 words. 2,200 words. It's just amazing. But anyways, going to 1589, I sent my email off. Obviously, somebody sent Zandra Rice Hawkins a copy of my email because at that point...
We have cables, people.
She elected to... I mean, she actually quoted me. Or she took stuff out of my email, so somebody sent it, and the way she said it was bizarre.
Welcome to Zandra Rice Hawkins. I believe that's the appropriate definition of her.
But I'm sorry, I was distracted. Where was I going with that? Well, basically, she sent out this 2,100-page note. And my first question is, okay, it's 2,100 words. Are any of the reps going to read it all the way through? I'm sure one or two will, but I get a 2,200 word.
That's the password to log in.
Okay, great. And I get a 2,200 word email. I'm glossing it. After about the third paragraph, I've had enough. I'm sorry. Call me ADD.
Oh,
if you can't say it in 500
don't
words
feel
or less,
bad. I saw Zandra Rice Hawkins, and that was all I needed to see. I was done.
Yeah.
I already knew what she was going to say. I mean, so did you. There was really no point in reading it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I looked through it. It took me an hour and a half to go through the thing, and it's not that I'm a slow reader. Others might argue that I'm something else, but
well, you had to fisk it, and you wanted to see what she said and the context in which she said it, so that you could respond appropriately.
So the bottom line is she bloviated. So the way I responded to it was I sent a follow-up email to all the House reps, and it basically said, fact, this, and I laid out like 9 or 10 facts about New Hampshire gun laws. I says, if anybody tells you anything different here, they're lying to you. They're not telling you the truth. That's just one effort. And
You were harassing them, Rick.
Yes, I was,
With laws and facts.
I and thousands of other Granite Staters who care about the Second Amendment, And I really saw what that meant, because John Burt, Representative John Burt, he put this post up on Facebook apologizing. He says, I got 657 emails in one day. I cannot possibly answer all these. I try hard, but I can't.
What's wrong with him? I get that every single day.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I got four email accounts beaten on me. What can I say?
So, I mean...
You're surrounded.
And then, one thing I got to mention is J.R. Hole.
Oh, tireless.
J.R. Hole was one who, he's the one that came up with the floor amendment that ticked him off so much that they said, it's my bill and I'm going home.
The whole thing. It's so
It was
great.
his floor amendment that tipped him over.
The fact that he got it passed, if for those of you who, we'll just tell you what happened. Here's this bill, this HB 1589, that's going to make it illegal for me to hand skip my gun so he can look at it on the range. That would then be, a felony?
Well, here's the thing.
If you're outside of a range.
Outside of a range. Okay. So, and then so he creates this amendment that said, look, let's create a study committee and look at why New Hampshire has such low violent crime rates. Basically, given the fact that we have such this open approach to gun ownership. How are they related? Let's take a look at that and see how that works. Democrats didn't want to see how it worked.
No, they didn't.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just amazed because JR, he came up with this floor amendment that narrowly passed. I was
like 2 or
votes.
3 votes, yeah.
Yeah, and that tipped him over.
They were done after that. Then it became a game. Then it became an awesome game. Chandler jumped in. He's like, let's do this. Let's do that. Hey, how about we ITL it? 280-something votes to kill it. Like, it's dead!
And, our official motto here at Granite Rock is spank them when they're wrong and thank them when they're right. And I spank Gene Chandler a lot because I think...
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Well,
oh, wait, you just told a whole bunch of people. Sorry.
Yeah, well... all you got to do is Google Granite Rock and Gene Chandler.
That's okay. Earlier, I was turning on it.
It was the visual skip.
Yes. But we do have to thank certain people, even if we're mad as all get out for a lot of other stuff. When they do right, we have to say, you did right. And here's one case where he did really,
Not only
really
that,
good.
he didn't vote on it so he could bring it up for reconsideration.
That's correct.
Killed it again. They didn't want to reconsider it, which means it's dead for the rest of the year.
Yep, basically.
So we're done with that bill.
So now all we have to do is defeat the majority in the election so they can't bring it up next year.
Yeah. One of the things I like to do is, like when I sent that email to, the H rep where everybody gets it, is I always ended my emails with see you on the campaign trail or see you at the ballot box.
Yeah, and then the nice thing is that should be a scary thing because politicians on both sides of the aisle understand gun owners vote, and they vote religiously.
Yep.
Because they, hate to throw an Obama-ism in here, but the clingers to their guns and their Bibles conflated with the former NRA president Charlton Heston out of my cold dead hands kind of deal.
Yeah.
They just don't seem to understand that we do view guns in a lot of ways similar to that of the American flag. It's not the flag that we are so enamored about. It's not the guns that we are enamored about. It's the ideals that stand for each of those particular things. I cannot stop coughing.
Well, I guess one of the things that really bothered me was about this bill and all the talking points the Democrats were using was they kept using the sham statistics over and over, and it didn't matter how many times. They were duplicative about it. They got up to the microphone when they testified, and they just simply continued on with 40% of guns purchased were done outside of a background check, sham statistic. And then this one where some number like 87% of Granite Staters support background checks. Well, that you guys remember, I wrote about that particular.
Well, remember, it used to be 93%.
Yeah, 93, 87, something like that.
And that professor from New England College still hasn't released his methodology or the data underlying it.
No, I specifically asked him, and he has not done it. Ben Tafoya. Dr. Ben Tafoya is his name, and he is he's a progressive professor at New England College. He doesn't even live here in the Granite State.
Do you how do you spell his last name?
Tafoya.
I think we're going to have to start giving him some... What are you playing? Or is that me? Or is that somebody's
not me.
phone? Oh, that was interesting.
Huh.
We should start giving him some Google love, I think. I think it's about time that we treat him like, say, a vote stealer. We should just start writing about him so that when you go search his name, you get all kinds of interesting things about why he will not read his research over and over and over again until there is nothing else left.
Why don't we challenge him to a debate with Professor John Lott?
Well, that would be interesting, but what I'm finding...
even with Rick, because Rick could slice him and dice him.
What I'm finding is that when I do go and ask some of these people...
Would you like a cough drop?
Got to drink more Mountain
I
Dew.
have a cough drop.
I may take you up on it.
Okay.
But there are a number of people who don't see things the way that we do. And I've been asking, would you like to come on the show? Would you like to come on the show and debate it? Why not have that open and public debate? They keep refusing. They don't want to come on. Either they just don't understand that they lose when they don't do things like this, or they understand they will lose anyways. But I really wish that somebody would come on and talk to us or debate it so we can bring up this
Exactly,
stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, I sent 2 or 3 emails to Dr. Tafoya. I wouldn't respond to any one of them. So I was actually, I was kind of...
We're going to grok him.
I was actually thinking, I'm going to drive over to Henniker, see if I can corner him, get my little camera going. And I thought, those people are overly sensitive over there. I'll probably end up in the Hooskow or something, But I mean, I corresponded. I mean, well, it was one-sided. I sent him emails, and he hit the delete button, obviously. But that's
all right.
And that's because they have nothing to back up their arguments, and certainly nothing truthful to back up their arguments. And that indeed is the problem. If you come to a genuine disagreement, a genuine debating point, people are only too anxious. Only last week, Skip started speaking to the Free State folks about anarchy versus small government, and rather than arrange a debate, they started on the spot. They were so keen to get going.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The people who understand the subject matter, the people who aren't afraid to make their stances, the people who aren't afraid of perhaps losing in a debate, they're all in favor. Like, yeah, let's talk about it. And, I learned some things when I talked with Carla, and we've learned some things from talking with Ian and some of the other Free Staters. They have corrected us. We've corrected them on certain stances. And I think it's a great time because I just believe that it's the right thing to do. But I notice every single time, very, very few progressives are willing to take on the people who are at Granite Grok on in a debate. Susan the Bruce is one of them. A nice little shout out to Susan the Bruce. That's twice today we've done that.
Susan Bruce.
That
Susan
she
Bruce,
says,
Susan Bruce,
we... I wouldn't dare dignify your program with my presence. Really?
Well,
Yeah, a blogger who gets maybe 50 hits a day.
That's okay. We wouldn't be able to get the smell out after anyway. So we wanted
you're
to,
such a meanie.
I am. We wanted to do this thing. Rick's segment actually starts in 10 minutes, but we're going to do it real quick. We're going to take a little break. There's going to be a little hissing noise. My problem is that my battery has gone, so I now cannot turn off my laptop and run on my battery. So there's a little background whine that we pick up that I edit out in the post-production of the podcast version. So you're still going to hear this little hissing noise in the background because I can't get rid of it. Yeah. It's just something to do with the connector on the back of my laptop. But anyway, there was this Cadillac commercial that was out that we posted that's just awesome. I mean, it is GM product. There is a little hypocrisy in the tone, well, in the reality to the tone of the commercial. But the commercial is so awesome that we wanted you to have to hear it. It's just that good.
Why do we work so hard? For what? For this? For stuff? Other countries, they work, they stroll home, they stop by the cafe, they take August off. Off. Why aren't you like that? Why aren't we like that? Because we're crazy, driven, hard-working believers, that's why. Those other countries think we're nuts. Whatever. Were the Wright brothers insane? Bill Gates, Les Paul, Ali. Were we nuts when we pointed to the moon? That's right. We went up there, and you know what we got? Bored. So we left. Got a car up there, left the keys in it. Do you know why? Because we're the only ones going back up there, that's why. But I digress. It's pretty simple. You work hard, you create your own luck, and you gotta believe anything is possible. As for all the stuff, that's the upside of only taking 2 weeks off in August. N'est-ce pas?
So that's the Cadillac commercial. It's just an awesome commercial.
And it really is. And it comes up.
Yeah, it takes a swipe at the French socialist surrender monkeys right there.
Well, not only that, but if you've been following the latest hijinks of Obamacare, where the OMB came out and said that the 2.3 million jobs equivalents were going to be lost because of Obamacare, and not the jobs themselves, but because of the high marginal tax rates involved in Obamacare. If you were in one more dollar than what the subsidy limits allow you to earn, you can be paying anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 extra a year for Obamacare coverage. So in and of itself, it's a huge disincentive to do exactly what that commercial says, which is to work hard, strive for more, be the best you can, and by the way, you happen to acquire stuff along the way that you can be proud of. And we've seen society being turned by the leftists as to being anti-consumerism. I'm sorry, but if you work hard, you should reap the fruits of your labor, and we see the leftists trying to poo-poo that whole idea that has driven this country for years and years and years. So I look at that ad, and especially, as you said, Steve, coming out of GM, it's not a repudiation of the French folks who say n'est-ce pas, but it's also a repudiation, I think, of the Obama government, who is also progressiveness or progressivism is nothing more than not making you free from government, but free from necessity and free from responsibility. If you look back to Woodrow Wilson, you will look back to FDR's Second Bill of Rights. It's freedom from necessity. The government should make sure that you have everything that you need, and you don't have to do a thing for it. And a lot of us are going, yeah, that's nice, that people can now have the freedom not to work. And that's been the biggest meme this week.
Fun employment.
Employment. You don't have to work anymore. And I'm going, what about the rest of us who have to work now to support these freeloaders?
Well, I just heard, I was listening a few weeks back on some Rush podcast, an interesting statistic that Mitt was right, that 40% of the populace pays 109% or something like that of the income tax. Wait a minute. And the lowest 40% has negative income taxes. In other words, it's not that the government takes in 100% of the so-called taxed amount. It's that the people that work pay more than their share, so the people that don't work much can actually get money back to the tune of $25,000 per year equivalent in the case of the benefits somewhere down near the bottom. And, whenever you create a set of incentives and a set of barriers to working, as we are now creating. Europe did this years ago. The UK did it. You end up with layabouts. You end up with people in government-subsidized housing.
Layabouts. Gimme girls and layabouts.
Yeah. The layabouts usually guys, and they're not very nice. You end up with government-subsidized housing, government-subsidized income, food, everything else, and you lose so much when you earn that first dollar or first pound that you just don't bother to go and earn it. And we've done this with Obamacare. We finally achieved the utopia, the dysfunctional utopia, or dystopia, as some would say, that the progressives have striven for. You've reached a point where you've created an entire growing class of people for whom it is not worth their while to work except for one thing. And we must educate them. That one thing, folks, is freedom. That you have to earn. Otherwise, they are too chicken to be anything but sheep, and they will be plucked and shorn as a result.
We have two guests coming on later. Dr. Cooper is going to come in, and we're going to talk about educating the electorate, something on our topic, and then, of course, Dr. McCoy will be in to talk more about Obamacare. So that's a nice segue, and we're going to talk about some more gun stuff in a little bit. I know there's things going on. The California ruling was pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The New Jersey, they're trying to do something very similar. There's 19 attorney generals who have signed on to help New Jersey, and our own AG, Uncle Joe Foster, has not signed on to that, so that's intriguing. We'll talk about that.
Yep.
And,
I suspect he will not either.
I don't think that he will. It's not in his nature.
No. No, there was I saw
was that a swipe at Obama there, Steve? When
That
you said attorney generals instead of attorneys general?
I should have said attorneys general.
the going back to the I was just listening to Megyn Kelly last night on Fox News, and she was talking about Obama. This whole I don't think there's enough people talking about this whole constitutional crisis that we're in.
Oh, absolutely.
Obama pushed back the date that businesses have to comply with a mandate.
Yeah,
but
again
he
and
didn't
again.
just push back the
Right,
date.
exactly.
He
But
loaded it up with threats
Exactly.
and more shenanigans. Let's get back to that.
We will get back to that.
Sultans of Swing came on, so I'm shutting up now.
Yeah, we're
You
going to listen to
betcha.
the Sultans of Swing.
This was popular when I got married, and that's a long
We have. I
time
was in
ago.
high school.
I was too. I remember about the
I
time
got you,
I got my
I got
license.
you guys beat.
We are aging Mike here on GrokTALK.
I had that 8-track.
You have that.
I'm
the
cheesy,
eight-track.
and I age like a fine wine.
All right. This is GrokTALK. I'm here with Skip, Mike, and Rick, and we'll be right back.
Grok TV.